It was November of 1994 when a convicted pedophile by the name of Ray Budreo was released from a penitentiary in Kingston and looking to take up residence in Peterborough. It unleashed a flood of protest that has probably not been equaled since, and we fully covered the story, including an exclusive interview by John Blake with Budreo, who was forced to hide his identity to ensure his safety. Tonight we'll look at the very first story we aired on the Budreo issue 15 years ago.
He may have eluded the press and picketers waiting for him outside Kingston Penitentiary on Friday morning, but by late afternoon, Peterborough police knew Budreo was in the city, and they released his latest picture last night, along with a warning.
Information contained in this file indicates this man represents a high risk for sexually assaultive behavior against young males in the community. Budreo is now in Peterborough. Budreo is described as male, white, 5'6", approximately 130 pounds, brown eyes, and wears glasses.
Police know where Budreo is living, but won't reveal his whereabouts, saying he can move around. They believe he is staying with someone, and while they won't say he's under surveillance, they did say,
"We will be taking up any movements that this individual should make here in the city of Peterborough."
While police refuse to release Budreo's whereabouts, High Place source says he is somewhere in the Collison Avenue, Collison Crescent area. If that is true, he's situated in an area with 2 elementary schools, St. Patrick and Otonabee Valley, and that is making every parent's nightmare come true.
I'm not against a person like this coming back into society. What I'm against is not letting the areas that they're released into know beforehand. It's our tool or our weapon against our children becoming a victim.
But I think we have to speak out as parents of young children, and we have to let the government know that this isn't right. We shouldn't have to have this kind of worry.
I felt scared, and I don't want to walk out at night now.
Police say Budreo was released a free man without any conditions or restrictions, which means he has to commit a crime before they can do anything. In Peterborough, Julia Caslin for Newswatch.
One of the reasons Budreo chose Peterborough was the support he was offered by Dan Haley, who within a couple of years would become Peterborough Community Chaplain, and whose mandate was and is, amongst other things, to work with released offenders. Because Budreo visited Haley's home at the time, it was assumed by some that he was living there. As a result, Haley was bombarded with irate phone calls, even death threats, a backlash that Haley today describes as horrendous. In fact, for their safety, Haley had to remove his children from school for a couple of weeks and find alternate accommodation for them and his wife, Sharon, until things settled down. Budreo, for his own safety and to spare further reprisals on Haley, moved to Toronto, where, with a strong circle of support and accountability, he remained on a program of drugs and counseling that effectively eliminated his sex drive and the fantasies that are so often integral to the pedophilia condition. The very same program, by the way, that he was on when he came to Peterborough. Budreo passed away a couple of years ago, but not before noting that society in general was gaining a better understanding of his condition. And by the way, Budreo never did reoffend, thanks in large part to the support of people such as Dan Haley. Next week, we'll go back to a drive for gender equity in our school administration system.